everybody, to week number 10 of the NFL season here on From the 50. We are live from the St. Louis, Missouri studios. TJ Weber, Big Web, Zach Zook, Nick Talley behind the ones and twos, Nick Yale all the way in Reno, Nevada. And it's kind of bittersweet today because we're in week 10 and we're getting closer to the end of the season. We still have a lot of time, a lot of football left to play, but, man, we're in double digits all of a sudden.
I know. It's gone quickly. It's gone quickly. You know, you get 4 punishments out of 10 weeks, and it kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah, Big Web, what are your thoughts? A lot of people got a kick out of your jelly bean punishment last week. We have a new one today. It is not food related. We'll be how do you say, unveiling that later on.
Yes. Well, what I have to say about that is the line is drawn here, boys and girls, right here in the sand. One of these other gentlemen are going to be doing some punishments next week and beyond. I'm done with it. I'm done with tasting crap, and you'll see what the hell I had to do this week.
Didn't you say that last week, though? You were done with it, and then you went 2-5.
No. But what you do, what we
You
saw,
paid Big Web.
what we
Whatever
saw,
Big Web has,
Yes.
paid him.
what we saw was the 46.5 parlay hit. We have momentum. I feel it coming.
Yeah, the 46.5 bet.
That was
That's right.
right. That is right.
That's right. We got another one for you today.
40,
I need to go look at
46.5.
Tony's picks so I can fade all of them today.
Good luck to you.
We'll see what happens. There's a lot of bad weather that we've talked about in these games. Tolly was kind of doing a little research before.
Sloppy.
So he'll be able to kind of update us as we pick the games. So it'll be a lot of fun. You guys are welcome to get involved always here on Facebook. You can call or text us at any time, 314-877-8597. We are happy to be here on week number 10. And we have a great setup, obviously great studio, but we wouldn't be here without our fantastic sponsors, including Kay Roberts at RE/MAX Gold. We talk about Kay all the time. The reason we do is because she's the best real estate agent in St. Louis. She will help you out. She will get you in the home of your dreams. She'll help you sell your home. And the main part of it, too, is she is not done once the sale is over. She continues to help her clients day in and day out, whatever time of day it is. She'll answer your questions. She's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the world, and she'll help you get in the home of your dreams. Give her a call today, 314-409-4113, 314-409-4113, or online at STLHomes, the number 4, YOU.com. Sarah Barron, Family Finance Mortgage. Somebody else that works tirelessly. I can't talk today. How you doing? 3, 2, 1. Tirelessly around the clock. She will always be able to answer your questions, help you refinance your home, help you get in the home of your dreams as well. She works with Kay Roberts, RE/MAX Gold. She's the best. Sarah Barron, 314-537-1282, or online at familyfinancemortgage.com. And last but not least, we have our newer sponsor, Alex Schlemmer at Aces Wild in Columbia, Illinois. One of the best places. They always say if you want to get lucky, come on over to Aces Wild in Columbia, Illinois. Aces Wild's doing a giveaway now until November 30th. Every time you come in, you get a free entry into winning a 36-inch Blackstone griddle or Camp Chef pellet grill with over 800 square inches of grill space. Tuesdays are your chance to win up to 5 extra entries by playing everyone's favorite game, Plinko. Drawing is at 7 p.m. Friday, December 4th. You must be present to win, must be at least 21 years of age to enter. Aces Wild, located at 208 North Main Street, Columbia, Illinois, in the back of the building. Tell them that TJ, Big Web, Zook, Nick Talley, the whole From the 50 crew sent you over to Aces Wild. Gentlemen, headlines this week. A little bit of COVID scare here and there. It sounds like, according to Schefter, everybody's good to go today. Week 10's in full swing. One of the bigger stories, though, Talley can kind of attest to this. Josh Norman from the Buffalo Bills tests positive. Your thoughts on that?
Well, COVID's getting more and more rampant throughout the league. So far this year, the league's done real well dealing with it. I think they got a lot more challenges now and coming. And, you just got to deal with it game by game, just like I said before.
Yeah, I'll keep taking the same stance I feel like I've had since day one. I think a lot of this is related to what's going on in the country and the world. It's going up everywhere, and it's going to continue to go up everywhere as the weather gets colder and people get pushed inside, and you don't have that space outdoors like you normally would. And that, of course, with flu season coming as well, it's going to the cases are going to rise, and hopefully, it is scary. But hopefully, we as a nation can, slow the curve, stop the spread a little bit. But yeah, I think the NFL teams and the organizations are doing a good job. They're doing the best they can. When, like, say, if you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where it was really bad for a time, obviously the players are going to be more at risk because it's more active in their community, whereas some of these other teams, if the cases aren't as high, they just have inherently less risk. So I think a lot of it is due to outside factors that's really kind of out of the NFL's control. But I think, like Big Web said, it's game by game, it's player by player, and I think they're doing a good job to manage and mitigate outbreaks within the team when they realize they have a case.
You guys took that a whole different way than I thought you were going to. I was talking about the game.
You were talking about Josh Norman, weren't you?
I'm talking about the Bills' defense against the Cardinals now.
Josh Norman being out, Kyler Murray is going to wreck this secondary with DeAndre Hopkins.
That's where I was
Thanks,
going
Nick.
with it.
I was like, we're like, man, we're so sorry. Like, let's get back to football here. I think
the world's in a really dark place right now. Okay. I
I'm
understand.
sitting
Hey,
here
you got to
like,
be real,
all right.
man. You got to be real.
I'm trying to talk football that gives a half-point swing in this game. Big. That line moves from 2.5 to 3.
You don't care
Do
how
we
sick
still
the
like
guy is. We got a
do we
point
still
spread
like
here.
the Cardinals? Yeah, no. I mean, Josh Norman being out of this game for Buffalo is pretty big. You'd see a whole half-point swing there for the Arizona game, now at -3. So I don't know. I think definitely going to affect. Definitely going to affect Buffalo there. There's the weather. I want to talk about the weather in these games too, because there's some
it's
sloppy,
a big weather weekend.
sloppy,
Yes, it is.
Big weather
sloppy
weekend.
football that's going to be played, and some key injuries
Can't wait.
in the in that Cleveland Houston game. I know we're picking it later there, but no David Johnson, and on the other half of that one, Nick Chubb coming back for Cleveland, and weather's a factor there, so that's going to be interesting too.
Tolly, you do have some storylines as far as the Bills go. A lot of injuries on the COVID list too, but also some secondary issues there too.
Yeah, so Levi Wallace was considered a close contact with Josh Norman, so he's out today. Micah Hyde's out with an injury. Trey White, their number one corner, is questionable. I don't know if he's going to play or not. He's truly questionable. Tyler Kroft, their starting tight end's out today too, so they're kind of beat up big time.
Yeah, and I honestly, just give a little peek behind the curtain, I like the Bills today. I was going to pick them against Arizona. Now I'm thinking about it a little bit. I think I might stay away a little bit. So we'll see what happens in that situation. But we go into Week 10 now. You finally hit that stretch where you got the pretenders or the real teams. You kind of know who's who. One of the bigger stories, I think, coming into today, one of the bigger matchups, it might surprise some people, but the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think this game could be close. I think it's one of those games that could catch up to Pittsburgh. Zook, we talked about it on the midweek show that we all disagreed that the Steelers will not go 16-0. So where is that loss going to be coming? I have a little hot take. It could be today. They could be caught up today a little bit. Tolly did say there's some injuries on the defensive secondary of Cincinnati, however, so it could bode well for Pittsburgh. What do you guys think about that game? We'll talk about it later and pick it, but as far as what you see on the X's and O's.
I think that, first of all, the line is a little too large. I just think that Cincinnati is a better football team than they get credit for. I kind of agree with you. Whenever you're facing the Bengals, it's going to be shaky. I mean, it's not a guaranteed victory. This is not the Bungles of seasons past. I think that Joe Burrow is really, really good. I think he's already a top 10 quarterback. So when you have that, I think he's better than Big Ben right now. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think he's a better quarterback than Big Ben right now. I don't really even think that's all that debatable. But the Pittsburgh Steelers do have a really good team, and they have a really good defense, and they're going to give Joe some problems today. They're going to knock him around. The Bengals' offensive line sucks. So I don't know. It's an ugly number, and yeah, in terms of the X's and O's, I don't think the Bengals roster's there. It's just, can Joe Burrow will them to a victory? And they need the Steelers to not bring their best game. Because if the Steelers play their A game, they're going to win.
Yeah.
This game is at Heinz Field, and speaking of Heinz, will Cincinnati catch up to Pittsburgh? That's the question today, ladies
All right,
and
get
gentlemen.
out. That was it.
I like
That's
that.
the last straw.
Get out.
That's
I
the
like
last
that
straw.
joke.
I can take
Hey,
a lot of them. I can't take that one.
I'll tell you
I
what.
think that was creative. I'm here for it.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. No, I think it's going to be a good game, and I don't want to get into it right now. I'll tell you who I like later.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think? I mean, Joe Burrow looking pretty good.
Again, it's going to be one of the situations. Cincinnati plays a lot of teams close, but having looked at their schedule, they haven't had a really, really strong, tough game on their schedule, except for the Baltimore game where they got blown out. And so I think that's going to be one of those, come back to one of those games. Can Cincinnati keep it close against Pittsburgh? Is this a spot where Pittsburgh, hits a bump in their road like they often do? Any team really does in this situation. Pittsburgh, best start of their existence, and right now everything is clicking. But will some of those injuries, is Big Ben healthy enough to go out there and sling the rock? He's not going to be too mobile. So can Cincinnati get to him? I don't know. We'll see, and we'll talk about it later. But definitely going to be an interesting one, and seeing if Cincinnati can keep it close like they have done all season, with the exception of Baltimore, or if they're going to falter on the offensive side of the ball. And and really let Minkah Fitzpatrick and that Steelers D do what they do, because this is really the toughest defense that they've been playing all season, and they have kept it close. But toughest defense should be Joe Burrow's real first test to see what he's going to do there in Cincinnati.
This is the difference, though, between picking games that are in college and picking games that are in the NFL, because you get teams big spreads in the NFL, they're still professional football players. You talk about how bad the Jets are. They're on another stratosphere, but Joe Flacco comes in and almost beats the Patriots outright. You don't know what can happen in these games. So those big spreads do make a difference compared to college. So we'll see.
It's only 6.5 right now. It's less than a touchdown.
It did go down, so there is some action on Cincinnati. It was 7.5 at one point, which is a huge swing down to 6.5. So we'll talk about that one later on when we pick it.
Just quickly, something that kind of helps the Steelers today is the Bengals are down to 4 corners this week. So they had John Ross practicing at cornerback. Second snap of practice, hurts his foot, out this week.
Great.
That's wild. That's
Why
wild.
you
He's
have
pissed too. He wants a trade too.
I don't know why you have your number 2 wide receiver practicing on defense, but I
He's
guess
not.
that's coaching.
He's like their 5th receiver.
He's not.
Yeah.
He requested a trade. He wants out
Is
of
he not
Cincinnati.
playing opposite
No,
AJ Green?
Not getting
No,
involved.
he doesn't,
AJ Green,
he
Tyler
doesn't,
Boyd,
he doesn't
and-
even play. It's like
and T. Higgins, the
Boyd,
other one.
It's
I guess,
Boyd,
yeah,
Green,
T.
and T. Higgins are their
Yeah.
3.
and then the 4th
He-
is Auden Tate. Like, he doesn't hardly sniff the
No,
field.
John Ross tweeted out a couple weeks ago that he wants out of Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
I mean,
He-
if
he's
they
not
put
happy
me a
with it.
cornerback too, and I'm a receiver, I get it. I want to get out of Cincinnati too. Amanda says, "Big Web, that was a true dad joke." Yeah, that was.
That
got
it really
something.
was.
That was one of the worst. I mean, that's one of the ones you just go,
Come
"Ooh."
on, man.
One of the worst or one of the
See-
best?
see,
I mean,
well,
depending
it
on
I
depends
thought
how
it was
you
one of
look
the
at
best.
it, I
I thought it
guess.
was creative. I thought it was creative.
Yeah, but
gotta
you
love
you
that.
can tell, the gears have been turning for like the last 20 minutes, and he was waiting for that one. You know what I mean? So-
No, it just came to me and I threw it out there. That's all. Thanks, Amanda.
Greg says, thoughts on Nagy giving up play calling in Chicago?
That's like one of the classic.
Yeah.
There's a coaching hot seat checklist, and that's one of them. You give up the play calling because you got to prove that you're a selfless guy. Like I'm too close to the situation. I can step back and let my coordinators take over.
You can't-
and maybe
you
they
can't
can do a good
figure
job. I
out-
gotta delegate. I gotta be the CEO
You
of the
can't
organization.
figure out how to get a first down with Allen Robinson and Nick Foles and Jimmy Graham. You got problems.
There's a couple other things on the checklist if he's able to survive it too. You're going to see him fire his coordinators here coming up soon. That's another classic CYA move on the hot seat checklist, and then yell at the media, which I believe he's already kind of been doing for like about a year now. So Nagy is starting to hit all of the checklists on the coach's hot seat. So yeah, he's probably we're probably seeing the end of the Matt Nagy era here pretty soon, don't you think?
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they jump out of the blocks, right? They get a great lead in the division, and then going backwards.
It's funny. We're all experts though. Everybody called that. They said they're the worst 5-1 team in the history of 5-1 teams.
Yeah, they're just terrible.
Yeah, not good. All right, let's move to some fantasy talk. So first question comes from Colby Wedwick. Says, "What's up, guys? Is Kareem Hunt still worth a play today, even with Nick Chubb coming back?"
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Houston
so. At least for this week.
Houston has one of the worst run defenses in the league, and
Yep.
with the nasty weather up there in Houston, like us mentioning earlier, it's going to be big time run game. I don't think Houston's going to throw the ball all that much if that wind and weather is a factor. And Duke Johnson certainly isn't David Johnson in the backfield. So I think it's going to be a lot of field time there for the Browns. So I think you'll get a healthy amount.
I have another little debacle this week. So Chris Carson is now out once again for Seattle. I do have DJ Dallas, but he has apparently been splitting carries now with Travis Homer, who I think he had more carries last week than Dallas, didn't he?
I believe so, or
Okay.
it was very close.
It was close, but Dallas is a receiving threat. Or I have Zach Moss from Buffalo.
Zach Moss from Buffalo.
I think
That's
that's
what
probably
probably-
who, I think that's probably who I'd take.
That's what
too.
Tolly said, yeah.
Zach Moss has been getting worked back into the playing time over Devin Singletary, and now is their number one guy on most cases over Devin Singletary. Now that he's healthy,
He's more likely to
running back
fall in
there.
the end zone too, don't you think, Nick?
He's a goal line guy.
Yeah.
Zach Moss is who they've been going to down on the goal line, and Buffalo is playing. Who's Buffalo playing this week?
Arizona.
Playing Arizona, so yeah, I mean they're liable to run the ball more, especially in the secondary there for the Cardinals. So I would expect Zach Moss plus DJ Dallas. I'm not really too sold on him. I think even with Jalen Ramsey and the Rams secondary, that Seattle's still going to throw the ball because that's what their bread and butter has been. Good, might be a good spot for. I think that's why we see the Rams being favored. Not only are the Rams playing well at home, but they stop the run well, and it's Aaron Donald, and so no Chris Carson really kind of affects Seattle's offense when they can't establish the run and then go through the air.
But it's let Russ cook.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
low
but
spread, and they're giving points. That, to me, I still
Yeah.
can't get over that. And it's going to be wild because I kind of know where the picks are going to go later.
Mr. Unlimited.
So them getting 2.5 is wild. You boys got any fantasy plays today?
Not that I'm proud of. I'm rolling out Scotty Miller in my dynasty league because can I just show you guys my IR or who's out?
Well, sure.
Why?
I'll read it off real
Scotty
quick.
Miller, why? Oh,
that's
because you're in
Literally
you
all
already
I
played.
have.
Yeah.
Tough.
I
That's tough.
have okay, let's see here. I got Kenny Galladay out, Calvin Ridley out, Deebo Samuel out, Denzel Mims on bye. And those are the receivers. Oh, and Cortland Sutton on IR, Alan Lazard on IR. So
Yeah, that's tough.
Good job.
Yeah.
So,
this
yeah.
is
Beautiful.
I got
This is
Scotty
another-
Miller. I did have to stream a Nick. I'm interested for your take on this because I had to stream a quarterback with Patty out. I wasn't very hot on the wire. I could have picked up Jared Goff, but I think I kind of lucked out because I was between Drew Lock for Denver against the Raiders defense, which I felt a decent about, or Derek Carr going against obviously the Broncos. Those were kind of my two picks. I didn't really like Stafford this week, but then all of a sudden Big Ben's going to play, so I ended up picking him and I'm starting him today. So I'm interested, like, do you like Big Ben better than Drew Lock or over Derek Carr? Like, of the guys kind of that are out there, who do you like this week to stream?
problem with Big Ben is he's still an injury liability, and so he, maybe if he gets banged up, then he's going to be out for the game. They're bringing the backup. I would probably prefer Derek Carr or Drew Lock over Big Ben in this situation, just because I think this is a spot where, again, Steelers could falter in this game. And Drew, despite throwing a couple picks, has started to pick it up a little bit. And again, late in those games, he's been throwing garbage time touchdowns and will get you 23 points. I mean, they lost to the Falcons, and he still got me like 28 points, which was pretty good. I thought about Joe Burrow, Carson Wentz. I kind of like it this week. Again, not one of those quarterbacks that might be on the waiver wire.
Neither of those guys are even available.
Oh, really? Carson Wentz? That's interesting because a lot of people have.
10.
Oh, it's 10. Wow.
Yeah,
a lot of people have Carson Wentz either like kind of stashed on their bench again with some bye weeks right now, despite throwing a lot of picks, getting some of those weapons back. Miles Sanders is a go today, so his offense is gonna spearhead. But yeah, in your situation, I would probably go with Derek Carr or Drew Lock over Big Ben. But you never know; he could throw 4 touchdowns to Chase Claypool. So it's just, to me, there's a little bit of injury concern there. I also like Gio Bernard today. Again,
I'm
no Joe
him.
Mixon. He's
rolling him out.
He's
for like
out.
the third
So
week in a
Gio
row.
Bernard gonna get the haul of the carries. Very interested in what that game's going to look like with the Bengals offense going against that Steelers defense if they can muster anything up.
Yeah.
See, Grant said TJ getting smacked in fantasy today. Yeah, I'm playing him. That's my brother. So, but I had Nyheim Hines go off for 28.5 points on Thursday.
Nice.
So that was a big gift for me.
You got the good Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
You got the good Nyheim Hines week.
I got lucky.
He is the most Jekyll and Hyde player there is in fantasy. He's either getting 28 points or he's getting 2 carries for 4 yards.
I think it's going to give him more snaps, though. I mean, he was not only getting the receiving opportunities from Rivers, because Rivers doesn't have an arm. We've seen that, so he just dumps it off to Hines. But Hines it was the best rushing running back that they had, too. He was over 79 yards, I think. He had rushing on the ground, got a rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown, and the other two didn't look good at all. I mean, Jonathan Taylor didn't look good. He's been really bad. So might be Hines' time to shine.
I know he's got like the fumbling issue or whatever, but I don't understand why they keep rolling out Jordan fucking Wilkins and not giving him carries.
Yeah,
it's
Jonathan
so weird.
Taylor.
What a crazy middle name.
It's idiotic.
It's like he's
Jonathan
like a lesser
Taylor had the fumble issues when he was at Wisconsin, and he made his first fumble, which was a key fumble 2 weeks ago. And so there's a lot of questions. Okay, is Jonathan Taylor going to be the go-to guy? I just think they may have worked him too quickly into the offense after who was it? After Marlon Mack went down in like week 2 or early on there in the season, and so they had to work Jonathan Taylor in probably quicker than they would have liked to, and so I think they're kind of taking a step back with him, and that's why Wilkins is seeing more of the playing time, because they're really trying to get Jonathan Taylor right with the offense before they risk him going out there and fumbling it again.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they're messing with his. They've totally messed with his confidence and his mojo, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at it, it's like a even split 3 ways in the backfield with Wilkins, Hines, and Taylor, and now everybody's bagging on him. It's like you drafted him in the second round. There's no learning curve at the running back position. You see guys like Zeke and Kamara; they're all rookie sensations. You're either good or you're not. Like
Zach Moss too. They drafted him, and he's already taken over. Even though Devin Singletary is a good back. Zach Moss has been the guy there.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, another example, like drafted in the third round, took off in Kansas City almost immediately. Like what are they? If you liked him enough to draft him in the second round, like, is there a disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff? Because it just makes no sense if he's healthy why you're not pounding him 15 times a game. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I got Nyheim Hines, so I don't care. I like the fact that they're doing a split.
And Nyheim Hines is a good back. Like,
he is.
He's
legit, and honestly, he's one of the better receiving backs when they give him opportunities that I can see.
He's like, remember those the OGs of that role, like the scat backs, like Theo Riddick and Darren Sproles and stuff. Like, he could play for 10 plus years doing that
for sure.
Kind of serving as the change of pace guy, but 5 carries a game, give him a little screen pass.
Your fantasy questions are welcome, so go ahead and throw them in at any point in the show. Let's move on to the Pick'em standings. First for the From the 50 NFL Pick'em on CBS Sports, which we get everybody involved. The winner gets a free NFL jersey. Currently at the top of the leaderboard is Laura Weber, my wife, at 76 total wins so far. Had 7 last week. Look out now. Lulu is in second with 75.
Whoa!
Look out, Lulu.
Lulu second with 75.
She has some wild picks this week, too.
Really?
Yeah.
And won last week with 10. Won the whole week. Let's see. Sherping 73. He's in third. Amanda's in fourth. She's at 72. Jeff at 71. He's in fifth. Joe Hessler and Nick Yale all tied at 6th with 70. Gigi's at 69 with Jake Scott and Big Webb. Zook's at 68. I'm all the way down at 15th at 66. Where's Tolly? I can't find Tolly.
I think I'm 1 below you.
Are you? Oh, yeah, there you are. 60. You're 63. 17th overall. So, yeah, I tell you what, we talked about this. It was last week. Mark Hessler, one of the top guys all the time. He was up, I think, 1 pick back. He had 2 wins last week. 2.
He had
one of which was the Thursday game, so his Sunday was very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, he actually did. He actually won some money on some over-under stuff. He goes, for a shit week, we sure did pretty good.
Yeah, week 9 was probably arguably the hardest week that we've had so far.
Tell me
in
about
terms
it.
of picks. Definitely hardest week we've had so far. My worst week. I got bailed out on Sunday night.
Well, let's move on to the panel picks. You know, it was a really great week going on this week. I really would have loved to have it myself. I had to share with Zook. But the first week, this just feels right. It's back home.
feels right.
I just want to let
feels
you know
right.
we're all on a streak, baby. We're starting it today. I should have been 5-2. We'll take 4-3, but congratulations to me and Zook on
Congratulations to us.
winning the week.
Congratulations to us.
You win a soft week with a 4-3 record.
You know, I got one.
I believe my lone punishment came on a 4-3 week as well. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
volatile.
A win's a win. You know,
I got
win's a
one
win.
question.
Just right in the middle.
Why
I
is
should have
the
been there with you
music?
guys.
Why is the music even louder when you are the king?
You know, I don't handle it. Tolly has a button over there. He just presses. That's not me. I have nothing to do with it.
Suck it up to the boss. over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Always sucking up to him, all right.
Zook and me go 4-3 last week, both the kings of the week. So Zook now jumps Nick. Zook is now number 1 in the panel for the first time since week 1. Actually, this is the first time you've
No, it's
been
first
in
time.
first
Zero.
place.
my.
First
Yeah.
time. I've been on top the whole time.
Nick has been in first
Don't
place.
get used to it.
Save that.
I've been on top the whole time.
Nick's been in
Don't get
first
used to
place
it.
since week 2. He goes 3-4.
Since
He's now
week 0.
39-24. No, you didn't win week 1. Actually, me and Zook did win week 1. He went 5-2. I went 5-2, I believe,
Yeah.
and Nick was 4-3.
Yeah.
So suck it, Nick. Yeah. So since week 2, bud.
Where's that drop? I know I got one from
Oh, it's on there
2019.
somewhere. I'll look it up in a minute. Yeah, Zook 40-23. He's in first. Nick 39-24 is in second. And then you go down a few pegs. Here's Big Web at 2-5. He's still in third. I'm behind
Still
him.
third.
He's still in
You're
third.
skipping one here. Cooper's in third.
Oh, yeah, Coop is in third. 32-31. He's above 500. So
Yeah.
we'll see what he does today. Big Web 2-5 last week. We'll have the punishment here momentarily. 28-34-1 for Big Web. And I'm at 4-3 this week, 28-35. So I'm right on Big Web's heels. I don't need to beat Zook and Nick. I just need to beat Big Web. So it's a whole new season for me. Got plenty of time to do it. Locks
1-0, right? 1-0.
1-0, baby.
1-0 mentality.
1-0. And Zook won his second Thursday night game.
Yeah. Wait, did I?
Didn't you?
No, I don't think so.
What didn't we have? Oh yeah, no, you took
No,
Tennessee.
yeah,
What?
no.
I knew. I said
Why'd you
it.
give me that false
What,
hope?
was I only on it? Was I the only one on Indy?
No, Dad was too.
I was on it.
Yeah, no, it was an even
Yeah, okay.
split.
Yeah, but as you guys always remind me, because I kill it on Thursday night usually, it doesn't count for the picks. So congratulations on winning Thursday.
Thank God.
For
for
Sunday
that.
doesn't count.
I took Indianapolis money line too.
Did you really? Nice. Mm-hmm. Locks wise, Zook, or I should say aces. Zook is 7-2. Nick 6-3. I'm 5-4. Big Web's 1-7-1.
See?
1-7-1.
Got screwed by Dallas last week.
Yep.
I mean, you got
Dallas.
you got to fade Big Web's locks. So you know,
Not
Who
this
even
week.
was their quarterback last week? It was some rando.
oh, it was
Garrett
Garrett
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Yeah,
He looked pretty
Garrett
good.
Gilbert.
Gilbert Gibby. Or
He looked
Looked
pretty good. A
nice.
lot better than
Yo,
They gave me a CeeDee Lamb touchdown.
Yeah, I was
finally.
gonna say we're off the Danuch and we're on
He
to
got-
the Gill.
He got something going. Yes. he
Onto the
did.
He
gill.
looked pretty good. Dad was not happy
14
about
and a
it.
half
It cost
points.
me
I mean,
all
come
kinds of
on.
stuff. I don't want to get into it. We're over with that
What the
crap.
fuck do you think? Hey, Arizona fucked me against Miami. Miami of all fucking
Yeah,
teams,
I
so.
stopped. I'm done picking against Miami. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, Nick. Tell me about it. I'd love to talk about it more, but we're gonna move on to Big Web's punishment. Big Web decided this week that he didn't want to do jelly beans.
Oh, man.
Said, I don't care. Whatever else has to happen. I'm not eating jelly beans. I'm not eating Red Hot chips. What else can we do? And we had some people send some messages to Big Web. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm Tony Sant Rainey, and he's such a wonderful guy. I love him so much. But, there's one thing I have to say. He really, really sucks at picking football games.
Tony, you suck at picking football games.
Weber, you suck at picking football games.
Big Web can't pick his ass, let alone a football game.
Big Web, you suck at picking football games.
Tony Weber, you know what? You suck at picking football.
You suck at picking baseball games.
What about football?
We all kind of suck at something in life. Just too bad this one's really important to him.
Weber, you suck at picking football games.
Tony, you suck at picking football games.
Oh, I said baseball.
You suck at the football picking, okay?
You pick your nose better than you pick your teams.
Tony, you suck at picking football games.
Hey, have you guys heard of Big Web's picks? They suck.
Big Web,
Yes, sir.
you suck at picking football games.
You're related to that guy, Big Web? Oh my God, I keep losing my ass on his picks.
Why did you give me those pics from that Big Web guy? His pics suck.
Look at that. Big Web's picks? They suck, man.
Suck at picking football games.
I just love him with all my heart, but I am going to ask you one big favor, Tony. Don't ever pick anything from me, because you really do suck.
You know, Kay, I'm just not sure about this bruise on the back of the show. Tony's such a bad football picker that I just don't know that we should be associated with that.
Well, do you think maybe we should give him one more week? I don't know. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll do better this week.
All right, okay. We'll give him one more week, but if he continues on this trend, we got to think of something else.
Yeah, I agree. We may have to pull that sponsorship, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Big Web. So there you go. You got a lot of people that know that you suck at picking football games.
Yeah,
so.
I almost lost us a sponsor, but I tell you what, hang in there. Everything's going to be fine. We're there. Everything's happening. The line has been drawn.
That's right. That's right. I will say, he's still not in last place. He's had two really bad weeks.
That's right.
But I'm right there on your heels. Let's just say I'm right there on your heels. So this is where we make a big
that's
stride.
Good luck to you,
impressive
son.
that
Good luck
he
to you.
had some 2 shitty weeks, and TJ, you're still underneath him. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah,
That's what she
tough.
said.
So let's get to the picks this week. So we mentioned the standings. These games this week, and maybe it's just on my side, a lot of dogs that are interesting. A lot of dogs that are interesting. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks
we
that.
just got done saying, boy, it's a tough week for dogs.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
We just
boy.
said that.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, let's get into it then. Should be interesting. First game we have.
Should be interesting.
Buffalo Bills at the Arizona Cardinals. I don't have Sportsbook pulled up. I believe it was 2.5 last time I saw.
It's 3 currently. 3
Nick,
currently.
do you have it pulled up? I'm just going to go to you for that. You cool?
I have it pulled up.
Okay. Arizona -3.
Arizona -3.
What do you got?
I refuse to pick it until the music goes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Apologize, sir. I apologize.
Come on.
You know I love the music.
Music is great.
Yeah, I gotta get in my vibe. All right.
I can't wait till I'm back and we can get music.
Yeah, there you go. I'm taking Arizona -3. This is a tough game to pick. I think it's going to be a good football game, but Tolly mentioned the injuries for the Buffalo Bills. I think that only helps. I was going with Arizona kind of before the announcement of all of these. I think Arizona's a good team. I think they're starting to get a little tough to beat down at home, and I think that the Bills, I think they're a good team, not a great team, and I just think they're going to have some problems trying to stop Kyler Murray in that offense. And it comes down to I don't really trust Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills right now. He's tumbled back down to earth. Again, I still think they're a good football team. I just think their offense is not that explosive right now. And I think the Cardinals are playing some good football. So I hope I get the good Cardinals, the Cardinals that beat the Seahawks in overtime, and not the Cardinals that lost to the Lions and whoever else. Yeah, the Dolphins back-to-back weeks. So,
Big Web?
I think we got a good football game here, boys. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. I planned on a lot of back and forth before the injuries, for Norman's announcement. And, I think Arizona's going to be able to bring a little bit more. Especially now those injuries helps a little more, but with this thing all week it was at 2.5. Now it's just at, what'd you say, Nick? Just at 3, right? 3 even.
3.
I'm sticking with Arizona here with -3.
Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, a lot of money going on in Arizona. That's why I saw the half-point line movement. Don't like it there. I think it is a field goal game, so we may push. I think there is going to be a lot of offense. The over/under set at 55 in this one. But again, Arizona, I think, is just going to be a little bit better football team. Hopefully, we get that good Arizona, and I think Kyler can. He's been running a lot. I think this is a game where he finds D-Hop for a couple. Hopefully, because D-Hop's on my fantasy team, and can get Larry in the mix there against a Buffalo secondary that is banged up.
I don't know.
Island, do it! I dare you.
Fuck it, I'm going with the Bills.
There
Let's
he
go.
goes.
Yeah.
Let's go. No one circles the wagons like the Bills. Let's go. I'm taking Buffalo. I think it's going to be a big-time scoring game. The thing that really made me pause was the fact that the Bills have a lot of injuries in their secondary, as you mentioned. Josh Norman, a lot of people on the COVID list too now. So that does scare me a little bit. I think Kyler is going to air it out. He is on my fantasy team, as Nick would say. So I am excited about that. But I do think that Josh Allen will score enough to keep up, and I think 3 is going to be close. So could this be a push? Absolutely. I'm willing to take that risk. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on an island, baby. I love it. I'll take the island.
Yeah, you had to stick with the Bills. This game's too close for us to clean sweep the freaking Cardinals.
And I did like them. I couldn't go against them. I was so back and forth when Tally told me about their secondary, but I picked them at first. Got to stay with my gut. Because the last thing I want to do is lose it, and you guys, I just tie with everybody. Got to take a risk, man. I'm back like 12 games right now. I got to do something.
Yeah, you do. You got to take some shots here. That's what happens when you get in a hole.
I'm okay with taking the Bills as a shot. Okay, we'll move on. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium. Nick, what's the spread on that one?
-2.5 for Los Angeles at home.
All right, Zook.
Alrighty. I, at first glance, looked at the spread and thought it was wild. I loved Seattle. I was like, you're going to give the Seattle Seahawks, who are, I think, probably a better football team than the LA Rams, points? But then I started doing, some deeper digging and some diving into the stats, and I like the Rams in this football game.
Wow.
-2.5 points. Look, the Rams, I believe, are 4-1 in their last 5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Jared Goff wins, I think, over 80% of the games he is sacked one time or less. Seattle's pass rush is terrible. That's why they had to go add Curtis Dunlap. They get Jamal Adams. Carlos Dunlap, thank you. And so their pass rush should be improved, but it didn't really show up last week, and the defense is still terrible. That and the fact that this Rams defense is sneakily one of the best defenses in the league. They're second in yards per play, second in yards, I believe second in points per game. Aaron Donald also, too, gets after the quarterback. Aaron Donald has sacked Russell Wilson more than any quarterback in his career. Give me the LA Rams. This is, I think, kind of a crazy game, crazy spread. I can't wait to watch it. I do think the Rams are going to win.
Big Web?
Zook, I'm right there with you, buddy. I tell you what, Seattle's been on a skid the last couple of games, and the Rams are 3-0 at home this year. 3-0 at home, and for everything you said, I agree with, and let's go Rams, and it's under a field goal. So give me the Rams.
What do you think?
This is a Los Angeles Rams team that hasn't really played many tough games so far this year. Other than a big blowout against the Eagles, they lost to the Bills. They barely beat the Giants. They did kill Washington, but they lost to the Niners, and then back-to-back weeks here, they won against the Bears and then lost to the Dolphins. So this game right here is the first-time matchup with Seattle this season. Seattle is in a funk. They're coming off some bad games, and they don't have their premier running back in Chris Carson. However, anytime Seattle gets points, I'm going to go with Seattle. Forget the fact that they're at home. There is no home field advantage this year in SoFi, so I'm throwing that completely out the window. Previous matchups, I'm throwing that out the window again without this crowd advantage. Aaron Donald does scare the shit out of me, and that is the one factor that I think could hurt me in this scenario is Aaron Donald getting after the quarterback, especially without the ability to set up that run game because they're without 2 running backs here, Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde. But I just think that Russell is going to really open it up here, prove to us today why he's a MVP candidate, and Seattle's going to get a get-right game here on the road against the Rams.
Seahawks are 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against the Rams. Seattle's also 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games on the road against the Rams. I don't care. I'm taking Seattle. I agree with Nick. I think you give one of the best teams. You give one of the best teams in the NFC 2.5 points. The Rams have shown me that they are also inconsistent. Jared Goff has shown me that he may not be the guy there. I mean, he is inconsistent as well. If he gets pressure on him, I think he's going to collapse a little bit. Dunlap could be one of those guys today to put that pressure on him. And again, I just think even if it's a high-scoring game, giving Seattle 2.5 is too much. Russ is going to throw the ball. I know it's it's been a short season so far, but they've lost. This is their second loss last week against the Bills. After they lost to the Cardinals, they went out and beat San Francisco 49ers by 10. Injury-ridden, I get it, but they still did it. So I don't think they're going to lose back-to-back games. I'll take Seattle.
One last stat. I know I gave a lot, and I forgot to spit this one out. I think this is interesting. Seattle Seahawks, I believe, are giving up 365 yards per game against the pass.
Yeah,
against the pass. It's the second worst average, I believe, in NFL history.
I think it's going to be a good game.
So
I do.
I think it's going to be high scoring. If you want, you're talking about overs, I would hit that one.
And that's kind of the reason I'm taking the 2.5.
They're in the recipe. They're in the recipe.
If they're minus 3.5, I don't touch them, but they're getting 2.5. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
No hook.
It'd be a good one. This is pretty split so far. This is good. I like this.
Yeah.
All right, we got another good one. Cincinnati at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nick, you said it's at 6.5.
It is at 6.5 at the moment.
That's
yes.
big. Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer.
That
That hook
sucks.
The hook. There is none.
All right. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, there
I'll
is
take the Cincinnati Bengals. I really would have liked for this to be over a touchdown. I think it opened at 7.5,
Yeah,
didn't
it did.
So
Yep.
we've swung back. So you know what? I just think that the Bengals are a good team to bet on when you get an ugly number like this to backdoor cover to make things close. And I think that this is an ascending Cincinnati Bengals team. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball at all. Joe Burrow is going to have over 50 passing attempts. But I think the one area where the Steelers are weak at is if you can give them time. And that's a big if with the Cincinnati O-line. But if you can give them time, the Pittsburgh secondary, outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick, is really not that good. They are covered up by the fact that the pass rush is so dominant that they force quarterbacks into a lot of mistakes and they sack the quarterback a lot. They don't have a lot of time to develop anything. But if Joe Burrow can maybe do some Joe Burrow stuff, run around there and create some time, the play after the play, I think that the Cincinnati Bengals could be frisky, and I'm hoping that they cover the 6.5.
Big Web?
So,
he's changing.
No. I like Pittsburgh here, and I'm sticking with Pittsburgh here, and I'll tell you why. Cincinnati, although Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback, and he's getting better every week, he's a rookie.
Every week.
Rookie quarterbacks hate pressure, and second game of the year, the bad game for Cincinnati was against the Ravens, also a pressure defense. I think Pittsburgh's going to give him pressure. I think he's going to not give him the time that you're talking about. Give me Pittsburgh here.
Nick?
This game worries me a little bit because I feel like this could be a Bengals backdoor cover late in the game.
I hate this game. That's
the only thing that worries me about this game. But Zook, you mentioned Minkah Fitzpatrick. Pittsburgh went out and traded a first-round pick to get this guy, and for one reason and one reason only. This could very well happen where Bengals win the coin flip in the red zone or in their own territory. First play of the game, Joe Burrow steps back, gets pressured, pick six to Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's happened once this year already with the Steelers. They're very liable to be able to do it again. Questions around whether Ben is going to be healthy or not for this game, but if he is, I think the Steelers can do enough to win this game by a touchdown. I am very, very concerned about that backdoor cover, but I'm sticking with the Steelers at 6.5.
They'll have the red-nosed reindeer.
Nick's Joey Sly analysis.
I know. He's going to throw pick six, so I got to take the Steelers.
Was the Joey Sly analysis?
I'm really looking
was
at
the
Joey Sly
analysis not spot on there?
It was spot on. That's why it was
game.
hilarious.
Yeah.
5 field goals in that game was the difference.
I think Joey Sly is going to be the difference.
Joey
Said
Sly.
nobody ever.
Joey Sly is the best kicker in the NFL this year.
He
without
bombs it.
a doubt.
Have you been watching
Top
this year
32.
where they try him out for these 65-yard field goals? I think he's
They
already
did it
attempted
last
3.
week.
Yeah, he's already attempted 3 60-plus yarders this year.
Before halftime last week, he went for a 67-yard field goal. Had the leg, just wasn't online. This dude was hitting from 68 in warm-ups.
Still not a game changer, Nick.
I get a kick out of him.
It was a game changer, though. That was the game changer in that game. I call that perfectly.
No, but it's like whenever those pregame guys go on there and talk about the key players to watch, Joey Sly's not going to be on the graphic.
Oh, see, we got Joey Sly, we got the
All I'm
water boy.
saying
They see
is
the
I
massage
said he
guy
was
in
the
the
key
locker
player.
room.
Yeah.
The Panthers
And
are bringing
he
out the
was the
weapon,
key
Joey
player.
Sly.
He was the difference maker in that game, just like Tyler Bass was when he took 8 field goals in that
T-Bass.
Buffalo game that they covered.
Nobody cares. You're taking Pittsburgh?
I'm taking Pittsburgh 6.5. That's what I said.
All right. We're split again. I'm taking Cincinnati. I love them with 7.5. I mean, I thought that was an absolute lock. My boy Dom apparently did have a lot of wagers that has them at 7.5. So it does hurt a little bit with the 6.5. I'm still going to take Cincinnati with the pick. I think I agree with Nick with the late cover. All about, can Joe Burrow get out of the pocket, get away from pressure? That is what scares me. If he has pressure on him, I'm afraid of what he does. I'm also a big believer, though, in a guy who I think is going to be a franchise quarterback, but also in his first game against a division rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a big fucking game. There's going to be.
On the road.
Are there any fans at Heinz Field?
I'm sure there'll be some.
But it's not the same.
They do percentage out there.
But it's not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
right,
not
right.
what
What's
he usually be
our,
going at. So I like Joe Burrow here getting the points. I think he's going to step up. You're going to see everybody else that hasn't taken a look at him this year. They're going to finally say, holy shit, he's really good. I'm going to take Cincinnati with the points. Okay.
We got pre-sip
like it.
too. Lots of pre-sip and 25-mile-an-hour winds there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
good.
I was wondering what pre-sip meant. That's
Nick does this thing where he shortens words. He's,
Yeah, no, I love
just
it.
a cool cat.
So there's a
over
lot of
pre-sip. It literally says right there.
Hey,
pre-sip.
Pre-sip out at that game always favors the dogs.
here.
Yeah.
Pre-sip.
Does that even make sense? Favors the dogs?
Sure. Favors the dogs. Yeah, favors the dogs. I like it.
Favors the run game.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, though, without their starting running back, so I don't know.
Speaking of dogs, the dog pound, Cleveland Browns minus 3.5 last time I saw.
4.5.
4.5? Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Up.
They're moving away from us, aren't they?
Houston and Cleveland minus 4.5. Blah.
Houston sucks, complete dick. They have no heart. The Packers, who are just god
Sorry to my
awful
aunt
on defense.
listening.
It's not a family program, is it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So, I think that Houston's going to struggle in this game. I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to be able to run the football all over them. I just don't think that the Texans, and why I was so harsh on them coming out of the gate there, was because this team really, it feels like it's quit in the last couple weeks. I think Deshaun has really kind of willed them back, but on the defensive side of the football, they're just terrible. I think Nick, one of the Knicks mentioned it earlier, they're one of the worst running teams in the NFL in terms of rush defense. And what do the Cleveland Browns like to do? What is their bread and butter, their backbone? They have to run the football. They're getting Nick Chubb back after a sprained MCL for the first time in, I think, about a month. So they're going to have that tandem in the backfield again. And I think that with the wind, I like Cleveland with the home field. They're off a bye, too, if I'm not mistaken. So I really do like Cleveland in this. I don't like that it's going further away from us, this number, but I like Cleveland. Give me the Browns to beat the Houston Texans.
I'm going to ask for Zook's help on this. Zook, read that top line right there.
Okay. Houston, 0-5 against the spread as underdog this season.
Yeah. And the second line?
Yeah, sure. Houston allowing league high 159.5 rushing yards per game.
Give me Cleveland.
I love that bit. That was good. Nick, what do you think?
That was a good bit. Initially, I was on Houston here. However, due to the injuries on both sides reversing each other, I'm flipping my pick over to Cleveland. All the money is on Cleveland. Sharps are on Cleveland. The whole world is on Cleveland. That's why this game has moved a whole point.
That's where I thought I was going to get Nick this week. Damn it!
So we're gonna laugh about this when Houston wins this ball game. On the Houston side of things, though, again, weather a factor there in Cleveland. David Johnson out, so Duke Johnson is the starting running back. If you have Duke Johnson on your bench in fantasy, good late fantasy play right there. But Will Fuller,
rolling Duke out in fantasy in the dynasty squad.
6 touchdowns. Will Fuller has had a touchdown in the past 6 weeks. Deshaun Watson is playing some of his best football he's ever played without DeAndre Hopkins there. But that defense is so bad. And when in Cleveland, even without Odell and without Nick Chubb, they were a different team. With Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both in that backfield, they are a different team. They're going to run the ball a shit ton, and Cleveland's going to win this game.
I want to do it.
Do it.
He's going to do it.
He's
going to do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'll take Cleveland. I thought about it, and then when I saw David Johnson was out, honestly, even at 3.5, it was still. I thought 3.5 was going to help. 4.5 scared me a little bit more. But the fact that David Johnson's out, they're going to struggle. It's going to be all Watson. He's going to have to throw the shit out of the ball. I think he's going to have pressure with Myles Garrett. He's not going to be able to get away enough. And Cleveland's, you're right, Nick. I mean, their offense is going to run the ball. You guys said it too. Nick Chubb's going to run them into the ground, and I just don't think the Texans can keep up with them. So if it was a little bit higher, I might take the Texans. If David Johnson was still in the contest, I may go that way, but I'm going to take Cleveland in this one. Hate to do a clean sweep, but I think it's the right pick.
Yep. When clean sweeps happen, it always goes the other way.
Usually does. So congratulations to the Texans and everybody that bet
Texans.
them.
Cleveland will win this game by a field goal.
Absolutely will. All right, Toilet Bowl game. Philly minus 3.5. Is it still 3.5 against the Giants?
Let's double check as we open the app back up. Carry the one.
I
it
believe
is
it's
now
4.5.
at 5.
Yeah, good God.
I don't like that at all.
5.
I'm actually switching my pick. I stood with the other two and was like, fine, I'm just gonna lose if this gets us. I refuse with Philadelphia. I just absolutely refuse. Doug Peterson is 1-3 in buys, I believe. believe, as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not one of those guys that's like, oh, Doug Peterson, extra time. They're going to be prepared. No, they're not. Carson Wentz is he's the most pressured quarterback in the NFL. The Giants also, too, are sneaky playing some better football. I mean, I don't want to say they're a good team, but I think they're approaching average. I don't think that they're a terrible football team anymore. The defense has shown a little bit of life. Unfortunately, I believe they waived our boy Corey Ballantyne, TJ, that Washburn.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Washburn D2.
Yeah, Washburn D2. He's gone, but the defense is playing better, and they've got Wayne Gallman going a little bit. They got something here with this rushing attack. They've been a little bit more balanced. It's just too many points in the NFC East game of the week to take the favorite. I don't know if I'd take any NFC East team against another with 4.5 points.
I agree. The Giants have shown some flashes against some really good football teams this year, and 5's too fat. Whether or not, give me the Giants.
Nick?
This line that's doing exactly what you guys want. Vegas is moving this line up in favor of the Eagles for one reason only. Miles Sanders is back in the backfield. Miles Sanders, big game today. They're going to rush the ball a lot. That should open it up for Carson. Sticking with the Eagles here. Every time I switch my picks, I always get screwed. I'm only switching that Cleveland one. That's the only one I'm switching. We're staying strong. We're staying strong with Philly.
Now he's going to screw us all on Cleveland.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
No island for Nick. I'm also going to take Philly -5. I don't believe in the Giants. I think that Carson will get it done. I think they'll run the ball. Miles Sanders will have a day. He's been due. He's been hurt. So I think they'll run the ball. I think 5 is fine. I would have taken them even -6.5. I think they'll win by a touchdown. And so I'll take Philly. By the way, sometimes we kind of push aside the toilet bowl game. Usually it decides the weeks most of the time.
Yeah, it really does.
We usually don't care about the toilet bowl games. They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
I was saved last week by Washington or by New York, almost blowing it against Washington.
Yeah, I mean, for the audience out there, just T's and P's to everyone on the panel when we have to watch this NFC East game of the week, because God, it's going to be hard.
Stop calling it game of the week. Stop calling it game of the week.
It is. That's what the toilet bowl has become. It's become the NFC East game of the week.
Pretty much. The NFC least game of the week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that better. NFC
You're
least
right.
game of the week.
You're right. It has
least.
sent my weeks down the drain at times. Exactly.
You lose those and it goes down the drain.
Big Web, at least Dallas is on bye. They can't fuck you today. Dallas and Atlanta are both
Thank
on
you
bye.
very
They
much.
can't screw you.
Get them the hell out of here.
Garrett Gilbert's not in the game. They're not going to have him.
Dallas
he's
and Atlanta will be
practicing
the
for
two
next
teams Big Web bets on and finally wins next week.
All right, let's go to underdog picks.
Alrighty, I have kind of a wild one. I was between two wild ones. I was between the San Francisco 49ers to cover 9.5 against the Saints, or the Chicago Bears at home on Monday Night Football. I think the Chicago Bears are going to win that football game outright. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears plus
You're locking
2
it
or whatever.
at +3.
+3, I like it. +3, I get the field goal to push. So I think that Minnesota, who has been playing much, much better in the past couple weeks, is going to kind of run into a little bit of a buzzsaw, because what they do well is what the Bears do well at stopping. I don't think that the Vikings offensive line is going to be able to run it much on the Chicago Bears. Dalvin Cook's a beast, but if the guys up front don't make the holes for him, there's not a whole lot he can do. The Bears do a great job at getting the running game going laterally as opposed to vertically, and I think that their front seven is going to shut down Dalvin Cook, which means the game's going to fall on Kirk Cousins at Soldier Field. Fans or not, it should be pretty brisk in Chicago, so I don't like Kirk Cousins against that defense when I think the game's going to fall on him. So I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. I hate their offense as well, but I'm betting on the Bill Lazor bump here. Matt Nagy giving up the play calling duties, so give me the Bears.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is 0 in Soldier Field too.
Is he really?
I believe he's 0 on. Is he 0 on Monday Night Football too?
Also prime time. He just sucks.
I seriously don't think he's ever won on Monday night.
Right.
That sounds about right.
I thought he won once last year.
We'll have to see.
I think it's still a goose egg. I think it's still a goose egg. I thought I saw that earlier this week. Boys, for my dog, I tell you, I really, really, really wanted to go Carolina. I think Brady's going to bounce back this week, so I got off of that football game. But, man, I was close to taking Carolina for a dog.
Yeah, he's never won on Monday night. Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm going to go ahead and take Denver. What number are we at now at Denver?
3.5 is what you're locking it in at.
I'll take it. I'll lock it in at 3.5. Give me Denver here, and I think they're going to backdoor cover this football game.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, nice spot there. But Broncos have been backdoor covering a lot. Also, if you're betting that Tampa Bay Carolina game at all, Tampa Bay's plane was delayed 7 hours, got in at midnight last night to Carolina.
Wow.
So going to be some tired Buccaneers out there. Everybody, the Sharps are all over Carolina as a dog today.
Really?
For my dog, I like this spot for Washington. I got him at 4 earlier in the week, but I'm taking him at 2.5 here against the Lions. I think that that pass rush is going to be all over Stafford today, and they're without Kenny Galladay. So really, they try to establish the run to get that passing offense set up. But I think this is a spot where Washington's defense comes up big on the road.
I thought about doubling on Cincinnati, but against Pittsburgh, I still like Cincinnati today, but it did scare me. I just don't want to screw my week in case the Steelers do get to them. It's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with a really wild pick. I'm taking Jacksonville plus 13.5 against Green Bay. I am. The weather's shit there today, though.
Yeah,
I will say.
13.5 is what you're getting. Yep,
it is going to stop, though. 10% rain starting at noon, game time. It's 38 degrees, low 30s. They're going to be running the ball a lot. It's going to be a very low-scoring game. Aaron Jones is back. He will be running against Jacksonville. But this new kid they got, I mean, he was throwing the ball a ton, threw it 38 times last week, and they aired it out. They have nothing else to lose. They're going for scoring. They're not going to win the game. They're going to lose by 10. I think Jacksonville plus 13.5 is a good spread. I think they're going to get it. Aaron's going to do his thing, but Jacksonville's going to cover this game. They really will.
Yeah, I actually like that pick. I showed TJ my phone because I picked Jacksonville too. I'm actually going to put him in a teaser today.
Yeah.
So get it up to 21. So yeah, I like that pick.
It surprised me last week. They aired it out against Houston. They were just throwing a ton. I mean, they had nothing to lose. They're throwing downfield. That's all they wanted to do. So Aaron's going to do his thing. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be low scoring, even if they do run the ball a lot.
I mean, Packers defense is really bad too.
And they're really bad. And Jair Alexander's out too, right?
Yeah, I believe
he's supposed to be.
Yeah. He is out today.
He is out today. So there's a lot of injuries. Give me Jacksonville plus 13.5. I don't know. Give me the Jags.
Frisky Jags.
The wagon.
All right. We have the Aces of the Week, sponsored by Aces Wild in Columbia, Illinois.
So the Cleveland spread moved away from us, right? What is it? I think I'm about to change my pick.
What are you looking
Double
at?
checking on
Four
the
and a half?
spread.
It is 4.5.
Raise the 1, 4.5 for
It is 4.5 for Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it after we all clean sweeped it. I'm switching my pick to the Bucks, who got in at midnight. I don't know what if we've got.
-6 is what you're locking in at.
Yeah,
-6.
I think I liked this game, and I didn't like it enough to lock it because I do think the Panthers are a little bit frisky. But I like
McCaffrey.
that. I like that. Yeah, I like that it's under a touchdown now. I like that there's no CMC. Now, Mike Davis does a really good job running the football, but they're infinitely less explosive, I'd say, without Christian McCaffrey. I don't think that's a hot take there. They also just got embarrassed in primetime. I mean, that was the worst Bucs game we've seen this year. One of the worst Tom Brady performances ever. Tom Brady, like I like good football teams coming off of humiliating losses, especially on national television. I think this Bucs defense is going to smash the Panthers, and I think that the Bucs offense is going to do their thing. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as my lock. I know it's not probably a popular pick, especially with the plane getting in late, but I think that it's, I'd rather do that than double down on the Browns. Yeah, so there you go.
Boys, we talked in the midweek show about how there's no dominating teams. There's no team that you can say, man, they're a lock for the Super Bowl. And it's coming true right now, week 10. You got to have teams start to take charge right here. This week you got Baltimore playing New England. I almost locked Baltimore, and the only reason I didn't is because Newton is on prime time. So I strayed away from that game. But I'll tell you right now, New Orleans, it's time to play football. It's time to dominate at home. Let's go, Saints. Let's cover this football game. San Francisco's had injuries all across the goddamn board. It's only minus 9.5, right, Nick?
Yes.
9.5 is what you're locking at.
Lock that son of a bitch in.
All right, Nick.
All right.
Yeah, you mentioned Cam Newton on Sunday Night Football. I'm not concerned about Cam Newton on Sunday Night Football. He has no weapons out there on the field. Cam Newton cannot do it himself. Ravens pass rush is going to get to Newton. It's only 7. It's only a touchdown. I think this is a great spot. You just mentioned teams needing to step up now that we're into the second half of the season. This is a spot where the Ravens need to take care of business on Sunday Night Football and get themselves a win against a Patriots team that has not looked like themselves this year. So this is a key spot for Baltimore to pick up a win in a division that they're competing against the Steelers. They really need the Steelers to win something or lose something rather, and need some help to come out ahead in that division. But I still think Ravens are a playoff team and think that they can get the job done tonight against a struggling Patriots lineup that almost lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. They're in shambles.
I'm just
They're in
saying,
shambles.
you don't get rich betting against Billy B.
I'm going to agree with Zook. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll give you some rundown of what happened this season in their 3 losses. Or I should say the first 2. Saints, they lose 34-23 in week 1. Then they manhandle the Panthers 31-17 in week 2. Then they lose to the Bears 2019 in an upset in week 5. Absolutely throttle Green Bay the next week 38-10.
You put some emphasis on that just to hurt my feelings.
Just to let you know,
Yeah.
They get throttled by the Saints last week. They're going to throttle the Panthers today. They have to. They have to.
You notice in both of those, like you said, right after that big game against the Saints, it's always Carolina. Both of them are Carolina.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and they're just running into a buzzsaw that is Brady and the Bucs. They're still a great football team. They have looked shitty.
Joey Sly.
Hey,
Difference maker.
Out of here, Joey
Teddy
Sly.
Two Gloves.
Key factor.
If
Get outta
Joey
here.
Sly hits a
Gonna get 5
game-expiring
field
field
goals.
goal to cover, I will be mad.
Gonna get 5 field goals in this game.
I-
Get the tough Bucks D.
I
Look
think
out.
I think Tampa's going to be motivated today. I think they're going to be pumped up. I think they're going to block the shit out of Joey Sly's field goals, and they're going to win this football game by 14
Go
points.
Joey Sly.
I think Brady's going to come to play. I do.
I'm the biggest Joey Sly fan this week.
You're the biggest Joey Sly. You're the only Joey Sly
The
fan.
only, the
I
one
want to
and
get a Joey
only.
Sly jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna
You see
say,
the
we
pipes
need to
on that
get-
guy, man? He got some fucking muscles.
Yeah,
The referees are
He looks
bigger
like a
pipes than
linebacker.
him.
So
He's jacked.
Oh,
I'm gonna get a
man.
Joey Sly jersey next week.
Teddy Two Gloves, 23-4 against the spread as an underdog.
Ooh, America's
23-4.
quarterback.
Wow.
America's quarterback.
Cover machine.
Did you see
Listen, if
Teddy
they're
B
getting-
diving for first downs
The
last
Sharps
week with his
love
bionic
Carolina
legs?
today.
Listen, if they were getting 7.5, I agree. 6 though.
The
I
Sharps
don't know,
love
man.
Carolina today.
Okay.
That plane got it late.
Last time you told me the Sharps loved a team, they lost big. I'm
That's
just
true.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
Joey
They didn't
Sly,
listen
though.
to Nick though. I'm no Sharp, but my picks are hot.
His picks
Say
are
that.
hot.
Says the guy in second place now. Like, I'm just saying. You know, you were hot. Now you're kind
Buddy,
of
you can't say shit. You're so far. You're
yeah,
so far
but
back.
I won the
you
crown
can't
last
even
week, baby.
see
here's
us.
here's me, here's you, Nick. You're on a downward slide. A lot of weeks left to go, baby. Here we go.
Every
Let's
blind
go.
squirrel finds a nut once in a while, TJ.
Hey,
Come on.
you know, it's fine. Well,
Nick,
let's
I
let the
will
picks do
say,
the talking.
I will say, I think we've been pretty aligned. I feel like so far this year, I feel like we're actually not really on the same page this week.
I know. Yeah,
Which is
we're a little off
very,
today.
Yeah, very odd for you.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, Big Web, your best bets of the week.
Yeah, boys.
Please
I'll
tell
you
me
what.
you're doing the 46.5.
I'm going to start out with my 46.5 parlay. over.
Wait, what are we doing?
I'm
we got
following the 46.5
Buffalo
today.
Bills. Buffalo Bills game over 46.5. They're playing
Yeah.
the Cardinals. That sumbitch is going
Yeah.
over. You got
Yeah,
the
it is.
Chargers and the Dolphins 46.5. That game's going over. Seattle Seahawks and the Rams absolutely going over
Absolutely.
with that shitty defense. 46.5 parlay. It's tight. We had to draw some numbers down. 100 gives us 287.
This looks like a little kid over here.
I
He's
love
like-
the
he's like,
46.5.
What else you got, Big Web? What else you got?
Next
Yes.
bet.
What else?
Next
I like
bet.
all those bets,
All right,
too.
here we go, boys. I dropped Green Bay. TJ's not going to like this. I dropped Green Bay down to 6.5. I got the Saints minus 2.5 and the Ravens minus 2.5. 100 gives us 238. Had to draw a lot of numbers, but that works too. Now, you put both of those together, 6-way parlay, 100 pays 760. Big Web's betting 300 this week. Cookie Jar Comebacks got 350 in it, so we're going to still have 50 in the pot.
So you profited 350 last week?
We profited 250 last
250.
week.
Yeah. Good.
But 350
Because 46.5 is 1-0.
That's right. 46.5 hasn't lost yet, and it's not going to lose. Today's the day.
You should see T on his phone where he's got his bets combined. It said he's got a little like Sharpie that he had drawn on there. 100, 760.
Exactly, because they couldn't all fit on the damn screen. But I tell you what, follow Big Web today. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm following the 46.5.
Oh,
personally.
Zook he was ready to go on
Yeah,
that
I'm ready. I'm
46
ready
and a half
for the
parlay,
46.5.
man. All right, well, that'll do it for week 10, everybody. For Big Web, for Zook, for Nick Yale and Reno, for Tolly behind the ones and twos, I'm TJ Weber saying so long. Good luck in week 10. We'll see you next week.